Do y'all remember a couple of months ago, I made a post because I received an email from someone that lives in Kristy's area. And they said that Kristy Blanchard was intentionally looking to take me down. And around that time, a lot of my videos were getting flagged and taken down, and I was appealing them and they would go back up. And then, like, everyone on social media was like really speaking about me really badly. And then Gypsy started doing like little sly videos saying little sly stuff. And they were really, really coming after me hard. But I ended up getting an email where someone was just explaining how they were trying to take me down. Like, that's been a big topic of discussion. They've been trying to get me taken down on YouTube, TikTok, and it's been a failure. They've even tried to dig up, my any criminal record, which I don't have. And they have tried really, really hard to do everything that they could to take me down. And then it started to die down because I think after a certain amount of time of someone constantly reporting you on TikTok, they kind of like let it go because they know it's like somebody messing with you or whatever. Well, someone told me this morning in an email that they were on someone's live and someone had said that Kristy said she was trying to take me down or they were going to really ramp it up this year because creators are basically ruining Gypsy's life. But after that live the other day, I actually think that them saying that is actually true because that live, them trying to villainize me in that live, specifically just me, I think is very interesting. And that live just seemed very interesting that I was the topic of discussion. But what I think is very interesting is the more they speak about me is the more people come to my pages to try to figure out who I am and what I'm about. And once they realize who I am and what I'm about, they realize that Gypsy and them are tripping. But anyway, let's spin a block on this really quick, and then we'll talk about it. Gypsy Rose Blanchard did an interview with Good Morning America. Let's go through it. Run the clip.
Speaking about her life after prison, where she served more than 8 years for plotting to have her mother killed after years of abuse. Juju sat down with her. Oh, good morning to you, Juju.
Good morning, Robert. It's quite a story, and you'll remember Gypsy spent those years in prison for helping plan her mother's bloody murder. But that was after surviving more than 20 years of abuse by her mom's bizarre medical lies about her. Now, Gypsy says she's trying to set the record straight, and she's just learning to navigate the wild ups and downs of the first few months of real freedom she's ever known.
Hi, I'm Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
She's an unlikely social media star, from her makeup tutorials
Get ready with me.
to her secret prison recipes.
I'm about to show you how to make a prison-style energy drink with only 4 ingredients.
The controversial and complicated Gypsy Rose Blanchard has amassed nearly 10 million followers in the 5 months since getting out of prison. Hi, Gypsy.
Hi!
Some people might hide from the spotlight, but you're going in a different direction.
Sometimes I kind of feel like I have no choice.
What do you mean by that? Certainly you have choice. You don't have to post.
No, I don't, but I mean, I think that with social media is concerned, I think that I wanted to be like everyone else and have that right of freedom to have social media and interact with my friends online. I had no idea that I would have 9.8 million.
The entire interview is a hot mess express, but let's talk about it. One thing that I think is very, very abundantly obvious is that Gypsy is disassociating herself from the crime that she committed. And she feels like either she picked herself or she picked her mom. She's not being honest with the fact that her mom was very sickly at the time that she had her unalived. She's not being honest at the fact that she wasn't in imminent danger, and at that point, she could have walked out the door. I think a lot of people really aren't realizing she was 23 years old, and she's now 32 years old. This interview was so dishonest. Furthermore, where she says the only perfect victim in people's eyes are the ones that are not alive. No. The perfect victims are the ones that didn't unalive their mom and then make up stories and villainize their mom. She has disassociated herself from this crime so far, and I'm kind of disappointed in Good Morning America that they felt like this was okay.
Gypsy's fame and infamy came after she pled guilty to second-degree murder for plotting to have her mother killed after years of abuse. Her mother, Dee Dee, forced her to undergo unnecessary surgeries, shaved her head, and kept her in a wheelchair with a feeding tube. You're often portrayed either as the victim of Munchausen or the murderer.
Right.
And what do you want people to know about you?
Quite honestly, I'm starting to feel like they want a perfect victim, and there is no such thing as a perfect victim. In their mind, the perfect victim would have died. And so now that I survived and the perpetrator of the abuse is the one that died, then I'm getting the hate.
With new freedom comes a new look. She's gone blonde and has had cosmetic surgery, including a nose job.
I have always been very self-conscious of my nose. I wanted to do it for myself, my self-esteem, what would make me feel beautiful about myself.
That surgery must have felt different.
It did feel different because I got to choose whether or not it was necessary.
In December, Gypsy was granted parole after serving more than 8 years in a Missouri prison.
Lots of them.
Her first months of freedom captured in a new Lifetime docuseries, Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup.
Not every day's a fairy tale in life.
While still behind bars, Gypsy met and married Ryan Anderson, and cameras were there as he picked her up from prison to begin their new life together in Louisiana.
What if I snore?
Well, then we got to get a divorce right away.
But by April, Gypsy filed for divorce. What went so wrong so fast?
People need to understand that Ryan and I had been in a relationship for 3 years. And in those 3
I think
years,
that's a
we had
long
been through a
time.
lot of
Girl,
ups
get
and
out of here.
downs. And sometimes relationships just take its course.
And there was some intimation, some reporting out there that you were afraid of him. Is that accurate?
I'm not afraid of Ryan. I think that there is some things that happened that I think we both wish wouldn't have.
Anderson's attorney telling ABC News any allegations of abuse leveled against Mr. Anderson are false and adamantly denied. And we consider any such allegations to be defamatory in nature. Do you regret the marriage?
I regret getting married while I was still in prison. I don't regret the relationship.
Now Gypsy is focused on moving forward while making peace with her past.
Did you guys see what they said about Ryan Anderson? Okay, let's break that down. So on the record, Ryan was not abusive. I told you guys she was trying to villainize him. And I don't know what happened in that courtroom or what was said, but somebody said something and said, girl, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it, okay? Now, so that's first. Second, something that's really worth noting is the fact that I actually spoke to one of Ryan's coworkers that ran into Ryan and Gypsy, along with other people from work that ran into Ryan and Gypsy. And collectively, they all said that she was very manipulative. What I think is also interesting is that she sent a note to a teacher in the school and told her to back off of Ryan Anderson. And I don't think that was the only communication she had with that teacher or reached out to that teacher, but it was definitely uncomfortable within the school. Furthermore, it's crazy. There was plenty of times where Ryan would say she was very controlling. She'd tell him what to do, and that she was verbally abusive. And this is all alleged because this came through a source that messaged me yesterday, way before any of this came out, which I think is ironic that it came out at this time. But that I think that's something for you guys to like keep in mind. And then seeing this, I felt like just solidified that.
You got a lot of backlash on Mother's Day.
It does not go without notice that my own biological mother is not here.
What do you feel like the backlash was about? And what, if anything, have you learned from it?
Being associated with anything to do with a mother or mother figure, I'm going to get backlash for it. I wanted to acknowledge her. I wanted to honor her memory. And if I got hate for that, then so be it.
And Gypsy girl, nobody is mad at you for mentioning anything with a mother. The reason why your Mother's Day post was disturbing was the fact that the whole post was all about you. You started it off very aggressive and abrasive, and you were trying to check people instead of giving accolades to the people that you thought were important to you. That post was disgusting, and you know it. So for you to say this was kind of crazy. But also, I think it's funny that they're asking Kristy, how does she feel about being called mom? Well, everybody knows what you did to your last mama, honey, so okay. Kristy could fall for it if she wants to.
At this point, you're aware that you will always be associated with as somebody who helped murder her mother.
Right. I go through my own guilt on a daily basis, and so it's not like I could ever hide from that, but I don't know if people want me to crawl up in a ball and just start crying all the time. I can't live that way. I have to heal myself.
You've moved back in with dad and stepmom, but you call her mom.
She has been the one person that I know without a doubt has my best interest at heart. Hey y'all, so me and Kristy are in NOLA.
Kristy, what do you think about how far she's come?
Oh, she's come a long way. She's not a little meek girl anymore.
And what motherly advice do you give her?
What you don't know doesn't hurt you. What people say about her shows their character, pretty much. And just knowing her heart that the people that know her and love her know the truth.
She
What is
can't
the
even look at the camera
truth? The truth
or
is
at her.
that she is remarkable.
I might have to rewind this and look back, but I want you guys to look at Kristy's face when they asked Kristy, what is the truth? She looked away and she said, she's remarkable. Like what? And she also said, what people have to say about her says a lot about their character. No, it just shows that a lot of people haven't done their research. What's kind of disappointing about this Good Morning America interview is that clearly the interviewer didn't do her research and really doesn't know that much about Gypsy and just did this interview. And I think this one was very crucial for her to really know what was going on. Also, I think it's interesting that she constantly says, quite honestly, in a lot of her interviews. And we know everything after quite honestly, Gypsy ain't telling the truth. Y'all know that.
Now, Gypsy says she's often overwhelmed by choices, like in the grocery store, everywhere, all the decisions she has to make for herself, really for the first time ever. But one big choice she's made recently was to rekindle her flame with her former fiancé, another man she first met as a pen pal behind bars. She's called him the love of a lifetime and says, but this time she's going to take it slow.
And even though she's 32 years old, you can just tell how young and just naive in some ways she is.
Absolute lack of life experience.
Right,
she just doesn't have it. Yeah, it's fascinating.
What's fascinating is how her story has taken hold with so many people.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, young people are obsessed. It's part of why she has such a huge social media following. I asked my kids about it. They're all obsessed with it.
Did you hear that Juju said that the kids are obsessed with Gypsy Rose? Gypsy also mentioned that she has a younger following and she knows that, right? What I thought was really funny is Juju said that her kids are obsessed with Gypsy Rose. Like, girl, so you want the DD special? Because you haven't done your research. Juju, do you want the DD special? That's a real question. I'm asking for a friend because I just think this is wild. I mean, am I the only one thinking this? I can't be.
Very, very, very well. And there's so much more, I know, for your interview. And you can see more of Juju's interview with Gypsy on Nightline. And Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, premieres Monday night, June 3rd on Lifetime.
Y'all, this is my breakdown of this so far. I need y'all to drop down below your thoughts because I'm sure y'all have some thoughts that I may not have even mentioned. But I just think this whole thing was kind of crazy. Bye-bye for now. Now, I feel like we know it's very clear that to Kristy Blanchard, this is all about the money. It's always been all about the money. She doesn't give a damn about Gypsy or anybody else. It's about her getting a check. She doesn't even like Gypsy, but she knows she controls the money, which is why she really wanted her with Ken and not Ryan, because she knew if Gypsy stayed with Ryan, Ryan would eventually control the money and that Kristy Blanchard wouldn't have her hands in it because Gypsy could clearly just have the money go to her husband. But even in this news segment, you could tell that Kristy really didn't even have anything good to say about her other than the fact that she wants her to continue getting the bag. Ain't that kind of interesting? What do y'all think about this? I felt like we really needed to spin a block on this just because of what's happening right now. It just seems very interesting to me. And I am not sure what trick they have up their sleeve, but I know that my name is going to be used in that Lifetime documentary. I'm waiting on it. I got my lawyer on standby. You heard it over here first, child. I love y'all. Have a great day. Let me know if you guys want me to do a live because I think I will go live tonight.